Hello, everybody, and welcome to 6 Minute Saturday. I'm Tina Powell of C-Suite Social Media, here to bring you great marketing tips to help you grow your business in 6 minutes or more. Today, we are going to be talking about where on earth is your site's security certificate and HTTPS upgrade. This is super, super important. Please, 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 if you listen to any episode of 6 Minute Saturday, this is the one, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get to it. You know I'm going to set the timer, but first I have an unbelievable presentation to help us to help me stay on topic, number one, and to help you to follow what we're talking about. Okay, give me a minute. Sorry, it's taking me a little bit a long time today. Let's go. Great. So you should be able to see my screen. We're going to start the timer on your mark, get set, go. 6 minutes. Okay. So, wow. I have to tell you, last week we spoke about GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, and that leads into today's broadcast for your security certificate and HTTPS upgrade. I'm going to talk about what that means because you're probably sitting there and saying, why is Tina, the marketer, talking about HTTPS and talking about security? For one reason and one reason alone here, this is really, really important stuff. Most of you have this form, the subscribe, you have an email newsletter form that you want people to join your mailing list. However, a lot of you are still operating in the regular website protocol called HTTP. That stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And I'm going to talk about that in a second, but what you need to know is that that is not secure. If you have a form like this on your website where you want someone to join your list, you might have an ebook, you might have some sort of a lead magnet that you want them to download so that you can get them into your mail distribution list, then you need to be asking that information over HTTPS protocol. What the heck am I talking about? Okay, well, this is a very big thing. It's even bigger than GDPR. If you want to know what that is, that was last week's Super Saturday video. You got to listen to them both. But here it is in a nutshell. HTTP is like this general underlying protocol used on the internet that basically allows how messages get sent back and forth from the browser to you as the visitor. HTTPS is the secured version of that, okay? And so what they are doing on the HTTPS side is that they are encrypting that message. So think about it, just the way that I like to explain it is like the Easy Pass lane. So if you're in the Easy Pass lane, how many of you have Easy Pass? If you're in the New Jersey, New York, Connecticut area, and pretty much all over the world right now, or at least in the United States, there's this thing called Easy Pass. Easy Pass allows you to get to a certain lane highway, provided that you have some sort of thing attached to your dashboard. Well, so HTTPS, think of HTTPS as like the Easy Pass lane. And only that instead of using like that Easy Pass thing, you're using a security certificate. Okay, so I hope this kind of example makes sense for you. HTTPS, the advantage of it is that not only are you transmitting data and information on a secured network, but in addition to it, it's a lot faster. I hope all that made sense. The other reason, the main reason why I'm begging you, please, I'm going to have some steps, what you need to do after this broadcast. It's an action plan for you actually getting this done without my help. This is the reason. Because Google now, on a Chrome browser, and I'm going to show you this example in a minute, they are sites that do not have a security certificate and aren't on the HTTPS protocol. Well, guess what? You are insecure. Yep. You are not secure, and Google Chrome is making sure that all of your visitors know that. And I have seen way too many good financial advisors, financial advisory firms, Providers to financial advisors, not on HTTPS protocol. Big, huge mistake. And I'm not a cybersecurity expert. Cybersecurity expert Brian Edelman from FCI, he's the guy that you want to talk to. But this is mainstream knowledge. A lot of sites, and a lot of sites even like mine, C-Suite Social Media, are already on HTTPS protocol. So here's what it looks like in the address bar. I'm going to show you an example of it in a second. So you see the July 2018, a lot of people are using Chrome as a browser. If you're not using Chrome, you might be using Bing. Each browser has its own way of indicating that you are not on HTTPS, that you don't have a security certificate, and that you're not secure. So this is what it looks like. Let's show you what it looks like online. Give me a second and I'll just stop the share, and then I'll share the screen. I'll go right to Chrome. And then I'll share the screen. Okay, I'm on my website, but watch what happens. I'm just gonna basically open up another window, and I'm gonna type C-Suite Social Media, and watch what happens. Watch right over here, right? You're all watching, right? Okay, did you see how really quickly that went to secure? So when you're on HTTPS, there it is right in the front, and in addition, it says the word secure with the padlock. Watch what happens now. This is really interesting. When I hit the word secure, you can see that it says your connection is secure, and then you can also see an example. You can see my site's security certificate that goes along with it. Now, there are plenty of sites that do not have HTTPS protocol. I'm not going to use those for examples for today's 6 Minute Saturday. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. What I'm telling you right now is here's my rally call here. You need to do this, and here are the steps to do it. So let's get back here. I'm going to just share my screen one more time. And if you need these slides, by the way, if you need these slides, do me a favor, and you can email me, tina@csuitesocialmedia.com. So let's get to it. I have the steps right here. I'm going to go through them so quickly. We're after the 6 minutes, but again, this is really important, and I think that some of the topics that I picked aren't necessarily good ones to do in 6 minutes. So here we are, steps for upgrading to HTTPS and purchasing your site's security certificate. I've made it so easy for you. Here's what we're gonna do. The first thing, number one, is you need to plan a migration timeline. Now, my advice is that you allow 7 to 30 days conservatively. Look, this is gonna chew up time and resources, not a huge amount. Don't get yourself, this isn't like you're doing a CRM migration or a portfolio accounting migration at all. Okay, this is a migration of sorts, and so there's going to be some downtime on your website. So planning, it depends on how large your website is, how many domains and subdomains that you're using, the size of your website, and all of those factors. But I think anywhere between 7 to 30 days is a good target. Number two, you're going to assign an internal person to manage this process. And they do not have to be necessarily an IT expert or a technology expert. So don't let these fancy acronyms trip you up. They do, however, have to have access to executive leadership within the firm, technology, even your website provider. So they have to be that hub of communication for all of those things, because this is a project that needs to be managed with multiple parties involved. So you're going to, that's number two, you're going to assign this manager, internal project manager, and they are also going to do the recording as well, and the archiving of all of this for the SEC or FINRA. Okay, number three is you need to make a list of your current domains and domains before we even get on the phone and schedule an internal meeting with ops, technology, and even the executive team. We have to know what we're dealing with. And remember, it goes back to the size of the website. The larger the website, the more domains, this is going to take more time and more resources. So you need to have a little bit of an expectation before you start to gather the troops to do this. Number 5 is then, only after those 4 steps, are you going to schedule a call with your IT department and web hosting company. And you're going to just tell them exactly, I've laid it out for you perfectly. You want to say that we want to upgrade from HTTP to HTTPS to secure, and we want to purchase a security certificate. They'll help you with that. In addition to doing that, creating a backup of your existing site, again, internally for compliance, for your advertising folder, for the SEC, for FINRA, for the audit is really important. And then even before that, well, after that, but before the project, do me a favor and have them test your site for broken links and your speed. Because like I said, that going to HTTPS helps your site speed. Even a little bit helps, especially when you're trying to look at it on a mobile device. So if you need these steps, again, I hope they're here. Tina at C-Suite Social Media, and then you can always text the word 444-999. My next blog post will be about going to HTTPS. So everyone, have a fabulous, fabulous Saturday, and I will see you next week. Hope you all have fun this weekend. Bye.